We continue on here, decoding the Matrix. Now, many of you will remember these creepy red balloons that appeared in Australia. Now, this was back in 2017 is when this all went down. And they were put on these sewer grates. And the reason why they put them on the sewer grates is because, let's close this up. This was commemorating the It movie that it came out in that year, 2017. But what was weird about this is it also coincided with an outbreak in Australia's worst flu season in history. So this kind of coincided in with this 99 red balloons spamdemic phenomenon. Well, the balloons are back, but this time they're not red. They're smiley face balloons. Now, this fits into exactly what we were telling you was going on with the smiley face balloons. These also represent spamdemic. Look at these smiley face balloons. This is unreal. Now, one of you had told me, hey, Casey, they're putting smiley face balloons out to basically in memoriam of victims and things of this CV, right? Listen to this lady.
A neighborhood in Clemens is trying to spread some smiles by putting out balloons. Check this out. Not
putting up balloons.
Just any balloons. They've got smiles on them. We're told a lot of people in the high-risk group for coronavirus because of their age are being really cautious.
Now, this is creepy because this smiley face balloon represents the eclipse that kicked all of this off. And you can see the graphic in the left of your screen. The eclipse path looked like a smiley face. You got the two lakes up in Russia that form the eyes of the smiley face. Can't really see them on the eclipse image on the left of your screen, but there are two lakes in Russia that look like the eyes, and the eclipse path looks like the smile of the smiley face. Let's keep going.
Many of them haven't been able to see their families, including their grandkids. So late last night, the Homeowners Association put out balloons on their mailboxes to lift their spirits.
So what I'm going to show you is a concerted effort, a pattern. Somebody got a memo saying to put out smiley face balloons because it's not just this one town and some realtor association. That's just the cover story. It's all across the world. Well, at least Canada and the U.S. These several news stories that I've found. Someone put up a smiley face balloons on Toronto Street. This is up in Canada to cheer up the neighborhood. You can see that this is a theme, and this all goes back to this sun worship. We're also going to talk about the cryptic color yellow, which can mean positive things, but also means sickness. Look at all these smiley faces balloons in different parts of the world, all around the same time frame, late March, early April. Here's another one, Chicago Tribune. So they've now changed the theme from 99 red balloons to smiley face balloons. Here's another one, Chicago balloon artists brightening blocks and buildings one smiley face bouquet at a time. April 2020. More smiley face balloons. Now, I couldn't make this up if I wanted to. North Wilkesboro. Woman cheered up by smiling faces. Smiley face balloons. You notice the theme. They're put on the mailboxes. Remember we told you about the mailboxes and what those mean. It's your address. It's how the Pharaoh controls you. The Pharaoh, the headdress of the Sphinx is your address. And if your post is marked with the blood of the Lamb, the angel of death will pass over you. But that's why they see a red door and they want to paint it black. That's the song. It's a very evil song because it's basically the Pharaoh's running around, seeing your red door, painting it black so that you get caught up with the angel of death and your firstborn. And this is who they want. This is who they're after. They're after the firstborn. They want to give you VCs. Here's another one. The York Daily Record. Smiley faces. So instead of the red balloons on the sewer grates to commemorate the It Pennywise clown, they've got the smiley faces. I anticipate that every time that they spread one of these spamdemics, there will be a new iteration of balloons. They'll change, they'll keep changing the occult balloon to a different form. Now it's a smiley face. Before it was a red balloon. Look, this is Ghost Town, York, Pennsylvania. More balloons. Now, these are all small local stories, how we found this pattern. But I anticipate also they're going to make this the spokesperson or the spokes symbol for this CV very, very soon here. They're going to make it. Here is PS 23 pre-K teachers spread cheer with special deliveries during CV. So they're sending these home to children. This is unbelievable. This one in Richmond Town, wherever that is. All over the place. There's more. This one. This lady here. Faye Webster. She's a folk singer. I think she's Canadian. And in her little song here, she is showered with these smiley face balloons. And she just so happened to be marked as... I mean, look at this. You can't make this up. And it's called In a Good Way. This is the name of her video here. And she's showered in smiley face balloons. And she just so happens to be picked for the 15 best songs of April 2020. Of course they're going to pick her because she's going along with the smiley face agenda. Here's another one, Parsippany. I wanted to just lay all this out so you see that I'm not just cherry picking stories. Happy faces around town. Pride and Parsippany. Okay. Same thing. Tying them to lamp posts and mailboxes. A couple more stories. Now, as I said, we're going to look at the color yellow. It does represent illness or sickness. So think about how sick this is. They've got these. This is Omaha, Nebraska. Let's look at more smiley faces. Put them on cars now.
Even though many people are isolated, some are still reaching out and communicating by sending positive messages, like this one.
And like the rainbow. Okay.
See a balloon and smile.
Omaha is trying to stay positive without testing positive for the coronavirus.
Now, remember the song Lady Gaga did, At Home Together? The song was Smile. And it was Charlie Chaplin. We decoded, broke all that down in a live show last week. And people are like, you can't just take one song. Now you're seeing the pattern. This isn't just one smiley face thing. The pattern is the smiley face. Now we're going to get into some of the other places that the smiley face bad omen has appeared. It actually appeared in the Gremlins film. It appeared in the Howling film. It appeared in the film 2012 about the end of the world. It appeared in that Doctor Who episode that we decoded. And it appeared in this Forrest Gump scene that I'm going to show you. Here's another one. New Jersey community stepping up to help those in need with balloons. More balloons. Yellow happy face balloons. What does the color yellow mean? Well, it can mean a lot of positive things. We've also decoded in the past how the color yellow is associated with the Son of God, Christ. But also, the color means cowardice or sickness. This is what is going on exactly right now. Everyone's sitting in their home afraid of a bug, right? They also call it mental illness. So these are all negative associations with the color yellow. So now think about how sick it is that they're putting yellow smiley face balloons all over the country and the world to basically tell people it's okay. That's just weird. So let's take a look at this scene in Forrest Gump. Let's pull this up here. Think about this. Every time you see the smiley face, it's about something that's viral. Okay? Think about this. In Gremlins, they had a smiley face. What happened in Gremlins? They replicated. They went viral. There was a smiley face. In the film The Howling, it was all about an infection that spread with a bite or a scratch. Sure enough, there was the smiley face. In the Doctor Who episode, there was a smiley face. You can see that on the left of your screen, on the right of your screen. And that was all about a spamdemic. And now, here's Forrest Gump. And guess what? The smiley face went viral. It was a viral t-shirt idea. And it just so happens that he now has it with his wife, the CV. Watch this.
The time I was running along, somebody who had lost all his money in the t-shirt business, and he wanted to put my face on a t-shirt, but
Want to put my face on a t-shirt. I'm going to have to pause this. This Forrest Gump film. They're very sensitive about playing their clips. But this is the scene where he goes running. He runs for all this time. And the guy gives him a yellow shirt to wipe his face. Watch.
he couldn't draw that well, and he didn't have a camera.
Here, use this one. Nobody likes that color anyway.
Nobody likes that color anyway. Okay? Then he grabs the shirt. He wipes his muddy face.
Have a nice day.
Tells him have a nice day. He opens it up. And there, lo and behold, is the smiley face. And the joke is that Forrest Gump was the one who came up with the smiley face meme. He also came up with the S happens meme in the film.
Well, some years later, I found out that man did come up with an idea for a t-shirt. He made a lot of money off of it.
So he made all this money. He's like got money dollar signs in his eyes that he came up with the next $1 million idea. Now listen to this part.
And I think that's what my running was all about. I had run for 3 years, 2 months, 14 days.
3 years, 2 months, 14 days. 3 years, 2 months, that's 5, and 14 days. That's 19. 19. CV 19. Are you starting to see what's going on here? The run he does is all across the world. Or was it America? That's another viral little funny joke, right? Because it spreads all across, right? You can't make this up. And people say I have an imaginative mind, but really, it's just sitting back and looking what these people are doing and having the time to actually see what you're looking at instead of seeing it as entertainment. So here's Tom Hanks signaling the spread of the CV in the film Forrest Gump.
In 16 hours.
And 16 hours. That was the last part of it. So you have a 19 and a 16. And you can rotate those two numbers around all day long, and they just keep saying each other. The 16 and the 19 are mirrors of one another. Just keep spinning it and spinning it and spinning it, and you have 19 and 16, which is 19. Unbelievable. Remember I told you that their symbolism has a start point and an end point, and it mirrors one another. We showed you with the Future, the rap artist, and his performance at the BET. We showed you the numbers surrounding that, how they have a beginning number and an end number, and they always mirror one another. Now, then he just stops running, right? Let's close this. Let's keep going. Now you're starting to see why this smiley face appeared in a cancer cell. This is where things go off the rails. This is a real cancer cell. It's called beta-catenin protein. We're going to call it BCAT for short. Beta-catenin is BCAT. And it's a protein which causes cancer by moving into the cell nucleus and activating genes. But it's also a very necessary protein in many bodily functions. Look at this thing. Look at how creepy this is. This is a real image. It just appeared magically in this cancer cell. So now we're going to tie this into Bill Gates, because Bill Gates is very interested in this cell. He funded research, and now you know what the smiley face really is. Let's read about this here. This is unbelievable. Daily Mail. And what's this story? Oh, man, that's the only thing about Daily Mail. If you leave the tab open, it changes the story on you. See if we can get this back. Oh, jeez, are you serious? Maybe the back button? I don't know. What happened to my article? Maybe it's back. Maybe they took it down. Let's see. Here it is. Now, it's interesting. Australia again. So the red balloons start out in Australia with the worst flu, and then here we are, full circle. Remember, there's always the beginning and an end. There's an entry point and an exit point. This was 2012. This is actually before. Look at January 17th. There's your Q again. 17 is Q. This was actually before the outbreak. The image of Jesus Christ has been reported in everything from a slice of bread to a laundry sock, but it's hard to beat the extraordinary creation of a smiley face on a cancer tumor. Sydney researchers have been astonished as they have watched the face develop on a laboratory-produced cancer protein which develops into tumors. The scientists at Westmead Millennium Institute for Medical Research created the cancer protein 12 years ago to learn how it would develop into a tumor in the human body. Have a nice day. The curious smiley face image forming in a cancer protein. But the experiment produced more than they had bargained for when the smiley face began to develop over the years. It developed over years. This is crazy. We've never seen anything like this before, said Associate Professor Barrick Henderson, leading the research. People here in the lab have been excited, very excited by the image. So this is the BCAT protein. Now, as I told you, Bill Gates has a particular interest in this smiley face cancer cell. He helped fund this study that we're going to look at next. And it's all about the cell. I want to review the study because it has to do with an autoimmune response in the gut. I'll say that again. This has to do with the BCAT protein, the smiley face protein, and an autoimmune response in the gut. And Bill Gates funded this study. Here you go. NOI. Wait, it says here, the work in this laboratory was supported by grants from the National Institutes of Health and the grant from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. What is their interest in this cancer protein? Let's read about it. Now you know the smiley face is real, that I wasn't just making that up because it was convenient or cool, that I listened to the clues and the Holy Spirit and I go with it with no fear of scrutiny, no fear of being made fun of, because if that was the case, I wouldn't speak anything that comes into my mind, because some of it sounds crazy, but it all pans out in the end. So, what is this about? Well, this is a big word sandwich, so I'm going to break it down for you. Basically, what it says is the BCAT in the intestine regulates the balance between the inflammatory immune response versus the regulatory response. In other words, the BCAT limits the inflammatory immune response. Where else do we hear about immune responses? Well, VCs. So the question is, was Bill Gates interested in this cancer cell because he thought it could help mediate the immune response, the side effects of VCs, while still providing immunity? Well, I don't know the answer to that, but what I can tell you is that BCAT was actually theorized that it could improve the efficacy of cancer VCs. What do you know? BCAT signaling and T-cell immunity. T-cells are white blood cells. And it says here in this study that these BCAT, let's pull this over here. BCAT signaling is critical for the differentiation, polarization, and survival of mature T lymphocytes, for the survival of mature white blood cells. There you go. Unbelievable. So, in a nutshell, the BCAT is at the center of VC science. If you don't know what VC is, somebody will help you out in the chat. And sure enough, the smiley face strikes again. So now we can go and look back at all those films that I just mentioned and all the associations that pertain to the smiley face and viral nature and associations with the smiley face in each of those instances, and plague, and now we can see the connection clearly. They were talking about the BCAT, B-catenin. Now, something strange happens when BCAT mutates. It causes colon cancer and a lot of other cancers. Let's read a little bit more about BCAT. Got the Wikipedia page pulled up right here. It says BCAT, let's turn this off. Involvement in cancer is a proto-oncogene. Mutations of this gene are commonly found in a variety of cancers. In primary hepatocellular carcinoma, so hepato is liver, colorectal, ovarian, breast, lung, and glioblastoma. Basically, this is the cornerstone link to most cancers. It has been estimated that approximately 10% of all tissues samples sequenced from all cancers display mutations in the catenin B1 gene. Most of these mutations cluster on a tiny area. So this is just more science behind it, but basically there's your proof that in fact, so this is weird, okay? Bill Gates is interested in this. Unbelievable. See, here's your T lymphocytes, a type of defensive white blood cell. They attack cells of the body that have been infections and autoimmune response.